Alright, a very good afternoon to all our viewers who are joining in on this Thursday afternoon for our noontime practice paper TikTok live session. I think there are also quite a few students over here who are joining in because you have an early day off from school, right? I understand many of you have had your Teachers' Day celebration in school today, so wish you all a very happy Teachers' Day. And for everyone in the chat out there, hopefully you are having a pleasant Thursday as well as we're heading into the September school holidays. Okay. For many of our students and viewers who are joining in, perhaps the September school holidays are not perhaps a point of enjoyment, to take a short break before we move into the final lap for the year, where we start looking at end of years, and especially for our students who are taking on your national exams, you start looking towards your final papers. Okay. So for today, at least I'll try to make this session slightly brief. I'm looking at a page section that is not too heavy on content, rather a bit lighter on content, but rather on exam management and technique skills. Okay, is everyone ready before we begin? Okay, right, good afternoon, Wei Jun and Blackpink in your area. Okay, hopefully, very good afternoon for joining us this afternoon. So today I'll be taking a look at the Raffles Girls Primary School end of year paper from the Primary 5 level in 2023. Okay. We start off your grammar MCQ questions. First off, Mr. Johnson saw Melvin blank an injured boy. Okay, this is getting out of hand. Let me just... Right, okay. Mr. Johnson saw Melvin blank an injured boy cross the road 2 days ago. Okay, Wei Jin has their answer in. Hello, Teddy Bear as well. Okay. Wei Jin has their answer in, and Teddy Bear is also joining in as well. What is the answer number one? Help. You see saw over here, right? Saw is seeing in the past tense. So why do you use number one and why do you not use number three for past tense? Okay. It seems like it's a match in verb tense, right? Okay, right. As Teddy Bear has correctly pointed out, seeing is a verb of perception. What is a verb of perception? It's any verb relating to your 5 senses. A sense of smell, sense of touch, sense of taste, sense of hearing, and as you see over here, the sense of sight. Okay? When you have seeing over here, a sense of sight relating to your 5 senses, the verb that follows must always be in its base form. Okay? It's also known as the infinitive, but for our level, we just refer to it as the base form. Okay? Because of that, we should use the base form of the verb help, which is option 1, help. Okay, so well done Teddy Bear and well done Wei Jun for getting the right answer. Okay? For the others also, if you think you have the answer along the way, please feel free to join in. You never know when you might get it right. Okay. Question 2. Question 2 can be one that is slightly tricky. My sister and I blank this trip to Japan to visit our grandparents since last month. Okay, my sisters and blank. So what should be the correct answer for question 2? Okay, Teddy Bear has their answer in. This might seem quite easy for now, or might seem quite simple right now. However, when you look at a second question later on, we might start to see some room for discussion. Okay, but for now, I think this is quite simple. My sisters and I, referring to the plural. I over here being used. Okay. For the plural, so that would be option 4. Using the plural subject for reference. Why do you use the continuous tense over here? Since last month, tell us that this is an action that is still ongoing over here. It started in the past, it is still continuing in the present, so we should be looking at the continuous tense. Okay, still planning, exactly right, Wei Jun. Still planning. Now question 3. I've much respect blank Jane because for Jenna because he was a strong competitor who showed good sportsmanship. To have respect, collocations over here. What should be the correct collocation for respect here? To have respect for Jenna, exactly right. Okay, for is used the collocation for respect. You have respect for yourself, respect for your teachers, respect for your friends, and respect for Jenna in this question. Okay, so well done, Teddy Bear, getting the right answer over here for collocations. Now, question 4 is the one that might trip some of us up. Okay, either Ali or his sisters blank decorating the house. They will be hosting a party later. Okay, either Ali or his sisters blank decorating the house. They will be hosting a party later. Okay. Now, what do we think? Is this the same case as what we have for question 2, where we have a plural subject? Or which subject should we take reference from over here? Between Ali or his sisters? Which one should we pay attention to? Should we look at Ali or should we look at his sisters over here as the subject of interest to find the correct verb? Okay. Teddy Bear is the answer in. You think you take sisters, and so does Wei Jin because it's the second one. Okay. Right, so it's the second subject over here. We follow the nearest rule. Okay, you might have learned it differently in your respective schools, right? But here I'll refer to it as the nearest rule. Whichever is nearest to the blank, you take that as reference for your subject. Okay. In this case here, his sisters is the subject that is closer to the blank, so you take them as reference, and sisters over here, plural. So that would be option 2, are decorating the house. Okay. Have you all learned this rule in your schools as well? Do you learn it under a different name? Right, I think most schools will have gone through this rule before, albeit under under different naming conventions respectively. Okay, so even if a school uses a different naming convention as what we're using over here for this live stream, maybe the rules still apply the same, right? It might go under a different name, but the rule and the logic still applies. Whichever subject is nearest, we use either or even for its counterpart, right? Either or neither nor. Whichever subject is nearer to the blank, you take that as reference for the plural or singular. Any questions? Okay, so we've got over this hurdle. Let's look at question 5. Question 5 might be difficult for some of us as well. All the girls went to the park, blank they. Okay. Which should we use over here? This is what is known as a question tag. For the verb of a question tag, there are 2 rules you need to follow. First rule, it must be the same tense as the verb in the main clause. Okay. What is the verb in our main clause over here? Okay, I see Teddy Bear has their answer in. Let's wait along and see. Okay, went. Went is go, but in what tense? Went is go in the past tense. Okay. So you're looking for an answer in the past tense. Okay. With that, we can safely eliminate options 1 and options 3, right? Do and don'ts are both in the present tense. So you can safely eliminate options 1 and options 3. Second rule to follow. Second rule to follow, it must be the opposing action. What do I mean by opposing action over here? If they went, right, is the past tense of go, right? So they did go, they went. The opposite of did would be did not go. Okay. Does this make sense to everyone? Why we use did over here as your substitution? So did will be replaced The opposite of did would be did not go. Thus, your answer would be an answer that carries the answer of did not, which is option 4, didn't they? Okay. Well done, Teddy Bear, for getting the right answer over here. Okay. Any questions from our first set of questions so far? Particularly questions 4 and 5 can be slightly trickier for some of our viewers. Any questions or any concepts you'd like me to revisit? Otherwise, if it's all good, can give a thumbs up and we can proceed. In the hallway. Okay. So this is what we see for direct speech over here. We're looking for a preposition. Which preposition should we use over here? If someone is standing in your way, exactly right. So that is the correct point carried out by Teddy Bear as well as... Oh, I can't read this symbol. What is this? An angel? Dira? Right, angel or Dira. Okay, right. So correct. Question 6 over here. The correct preposition should be using is in. You are in my way. You are in my way. Please move aside so that we can get past. Okay. So well done Dira, and well done Teddy Bear. Question 7. Now question 7 can be one that is tricky, alright? Mrs. Tan as well as her pupils blank performing a dance at the upcoming graduation concert. Okay. Firstly, we see upcoming graduation concert. This tells us this is something that is taking place in the future, right? So it cannot be the past tense. Right away, we can eliminate options 3 and 4 because they are both in the past tense that imply this graduation ceremony already took place, which isn't the case, right? It hasn't happened yet. This concert hasn't taken place yet, so these last two options are wrong. Now let's start writing is and are. Again, talking about subject-verb agreement. Do you use a singular or a plural subject? Okay. Teddy Bear has their answer in. What do the rest think? Okay. If Dira were to go for a second right answer in a row, or for all the others who have participated up to this point, what do you all think the correct answer is? Is it do you take reference from Mrs. Tan, her pupils for the nearest rule, or both of them? Okay. Which should we take reference from for this subject-verb agreement? Alright, this is something you should take note of. When you have a noun like Mrs. Tan, right? Mrs. Tan is a person, she's a noun, followed by 2 commas over here. Everything that follows inside these 2 commas are additional information about the noun. Okay. Additional information about the noun. Okay. So while it does provide additional information, they are not primary to the question. Okay, so this is what we call an addition distractor. Okay. You might have learned this under a different naming convention in your school, but this is, formally speaking within English, an addition distractor. And what is the purpose of a distractor? A distractor serves to pull your attention away from what's truly important, right? You see again, distracted, that means you're not focusing, you're not concentrating on what's truly important. In that sense, if you want to answer questions with addition distractors, what I find personally useful is to take your pen, whatever you see between the 2 commas over here, just strike it out. Okay, ignore it over here. Focus on just the main subject to answer the question. Mrs. Tan blank performing a dance at the upcoming concert. We're already looking at Mrs. Tan over here. And since Mrs. Tan is a singular, just one person, the correct answer would be option 1. Mrs. Tan is performing a dance at the upcoming graduation concert. Any questions? Okay, well done for those who've gotten it right so far. Let's see if we can keep it up for the 8th question. Blank, the ceremony is about to start. Most of the guests have not arrived yet. These are all conjunctions. Okay. Oops, maybe a bit. Conjunctions. Blank, the wedding ceremony is about to start. Most of the guests have not arrived yet. You'll be looking at option 4, right? Although the wedding ceremony is about to start, although the wedding ceremony is about to begin, most of the people who are supposed to be here, most of the guests have not arrived yet. Okay, so they cannot start the ceremony just yet. Okay, so option 4, although, for question 8. Question 9. Do you know that the lady blank you spoke to at the lobby is the principal of the school? Okay, so this question looks at relative pronouns over here. Which is the correct relative pronoun referring to? Okay, what do you think? Okay, Teddy Bear has the answer in very quickly. But what about the rest? This might be a difficult question, right? Who versus whom? In this case here, if you were to break this sentence apart, you have you spoke to the lady, right? You spoke to the lady. In a regular sentence, you have your action or your verb. You have your verb. The party that's carrying out the verb, carrying out this action, is your subject. And the party that receives the action, the one that receives the verb, the one in which the verb applies to, is known as the object. Object over here does not refer to the non-living thing or just a thing, but rather the party that receives or is the beneficiary of this action over here. Okay. So in your subject, verb, and object, you refer to your subject using who, and you refer to your object using whom. Is that clear? With that in mind, does this blank over here refer to the lady or does it refer to you? In this case here, this additional information points to the lady, right? Describing the identity of this lady over here. So this blank must be used in reference to this lady. And what we've seen over here for this additional description, she is the object of this description. You spoke to her, this lady. So the lady is the object. It would be option 2, whom. Okay. Does everyone understand? Any questions, or maybe if it's a bit too fast? Okay. Right, if you found this useful, or you found this a useful explanation of when we use who and when you use whom, can let me know either with a thumbs up or with a heart also, so just so I know that we are on the right track here. Finally, question 10. Lily and Sheila invited blank friend Andrew to join them at the library. Okay, question 10. Lily and Sheila. Again, this is a subject-verb agreement question over here. For pronoun usage, pronoun use. Do we refer to Lily or do we look at Sheila? Or do we look at both over here? Do we use just Lily, Sheila, or both of the friends? Okay, in this case here, remember, if you're looking at the nearest rule, whichever is closest, only for either or neither nor. So in this case here, this is not the correct conjunction, so you do not use the nearest rule. It will not be Sheila alone. Would it be Lily alone then? Well, if that is the case, that means Sheila needs to be an addition distractor. How do we tell an addition distractor? When you have a noun, for example, Lily, followed by two commas. Do you see the two commas? No. In this case, this is not an addition distractor as well. This is not an addition distractor, so it is not just Lily alone. Hence, the only option would be the both of them invited their friend. Okay. If you want to use her for Lily, example of an addition distractor to rewrite this sentence over here. Lily, Lily, along with Sheila, invited her friend In this case here, that is an example of the addition distractor rule. Addition distractor. So if you rewrite the question, even though it might be the same meaning being conveyed in the sentence over here, even though it's the same meaning, by rewriting it slightly, we see how Lily is being put as a main subject, followed by the two commas over here indicating who Sheila is, but altogether the main subject refers to Lily in this example. Here. Okay. So is that clear for everyone? Although yes, in this case for question 10, the answer is option 3. However, if they rewrite the sentence just slightly, you could get a different answer altogether. Okay, so be mindful of this point. Okay, same meaning, but different answer depending on how the question is written out. Okay. Any questions for grammar so far? Any of your school grammar questions you'd like us to go through on the live stream? Alright, okay, so with that, let's proceed on to vocab. Some might find vocab to be easier, some might find it to be tougher, but let's take a look. Question 1. John and Wei Ming are no longer arguing as they've decided to blank and become friends again. Okay. John and Wei Ming over here, in this case we have 4 different idioms. Idioms are common sayings to be read figuratively. Okay, I see Teddy Bear is the answer very quick in. How about the rest? What do you all think? Okay, Isabel, do you want to give it a shot? Maybe if occasionally we come across questions like these, right? Some of the answers or options we're not too familiar with, but we can also think about the process of elimination, trying to read out answers we are very confident are not right. Okay, for example, to buy some time. To buy some time is try to stall for time. Excuse me. While to face the music, right? If you're writing a school composition, you say your main character made a mistake and has to face the music. That means to face the consequences. Okay, I see Rotten Egg has joined in. So Rotten Egg, what is your understanding of option 3, your chosen option over here? Okay, for Rotten Egg, if you put option 3, why do you think it's option 3 and what does it mean to bury the hatchet? Okay, Clara has the answer in also, very good attempt. Clara is all the way from P4. Okay, definitely a good attempt over here at the answer. What does it mean to bury the hatchet? What even is a hatchet, right? Okay, so a hatchet is an axe. The axe you use, lumberjacks use to chop down trees. Okay? So to bury the hatchet is to set aside your differences. Resolve your differences. And finally, to read between the lines is to read out or to suss out, to identify the hidden message or the hidden meaning. In this case here, John and Wei Ming are no longer arguing. They have decided to become friends and they are no longer arguing. So what does that tell us? Clara, what do you think? If they are no longer arguing, that means that there are disagreements. Are they still disagreeing or are they still fighting? Right, they are becoming friends again, right? They've set aside their differences, so that would be option 3, okay? To set aside their differences, to bury the hatchet, to bury away their disagreements. Okay, so well done for those who have gotten it right, for rotten eggs as well as for teddy bear. Okay, right, and thank you very much for participating actively as well. Maybe next question might be simpler for some of us. As Lena was busy with work, she had to blank the time she spent on her hobbies. Okay. In this case here, we have 4 phrasal verbs. In this case here, because she was busy with work, she had to reduce or to minimize the time she spent on her hobbies, which is the correct phrasal verb to talk about reducing your time spent on your hobbies. Option 4. Teddy bear says option 4. And Isabel, okay, yes. So some of us also have this experience with your parents, right? Maybe some of you also within the chat have had this direct experience, maybe not of yourself, but of your siblings. Your parents might tell you, hey, you need to cut back on your screen time, you need to cut back on certain habits, right? So to cut back is to reduce. Right? Have any of you heard of this usage before, of this phrasal verb in your daily lives? Your teachers tell you, oh, you need to cut back on doing this or on this bad habit, or your parents tell you, you need to cut back on doing these bad habits, maybe spending too much during recess, or spending too much time on your mobile devices. In this case, would be to cut back or to reduce. Okay. Right, it does happen sometimes, right? Despite our best efforts to moderate our usage of our bad habits. Okay, certainly. So you can see how even in our daily conversations, just everyday conversations with our friends, our family members, it also helps us to brush up on our English fundamentals and equips us with the tools that we need to encounter and to engage with these questions during the exams. Okay. Question 13. Harmful ultraviolet rays from the sun can easily damage the baby's blank skin. You see, describing the state of the skin over here. Which of these 4 options here are used to describe the baby's skin? Okay, I think Clara has the answer. I'm not sure if Clara's answer is for question 12 or 13, but for the rest of our viewers over here, what do we think is the correct way to describe a person's skin, the quality of their skin? Okay, cute has the answer in along with Clara. Okay, delicate. In this case here, weary means tired. Feeble means weak. Okay. So why do you not use feeble but delicate? Okay, teddy bear is the answer in as well. Something that is delicate is not just weak, but something that is easily broken or easily spoiled. Something that is easily spoiled or ruined. Okay. For example, if you enjoy origami, if you enjoy folding origami, you know that origami pieces are made of paper, so if they lack structural integrity, they can be easily crumpled up, right? They are delicate. At the same time, in school, you need to file your worksheets in the proper files because the worksheets are all delicate, right? They can get easily crumpled, they can get easily dog-eared or scratched or even torn up if you are not careful. Okay, so you need to file your worksheets because they are delicate. Option 4. Here we're looking at the harm caused by ultraviolet rays that can easily damage. So this point about damage links together with the point about spoiling or ruining something that is delicate. Okay. Is that clear? Question 14. The school has blank plans to build a new library near the courtyard. What's the exact meaning of dainty? Ask cute. Great question. Okay, so dainty can be used to describe people. Someone has a dainty behavior or dainty disposition, but usually dainty is used in a more superficial context. Looking at people whose appearances are delicately small and pretty. So slightly different over here from delicate. Delicate rather talks about the easily damageable part of it. Dainty can be small and pretty. It can also be quite rugged, right? If you have a flower made out of stone, for example, or a ceramic flower, a ceramic vase, it is dainty, but it is also not delicate because it's not easily scratched or damaged. Okay? Yep, but thank you. Yep, the clarification definitely will be helpful for all of our viewers. Okay? Question 14, I see some of us have our answers in already. To unveil, untangle, unearth, and to uncomb. Okay, firstly to unveil. When you're unveiling something, it means to show or to announce publicly. Okay. While to untangle has a slightly different meaning over here. To untangle is to make something easier to understand or easier to deal with. For example, for the idioms that we have for question 11, right, we have quite a few idioms. I untangled the meanings of these idioms by unpacking their meanings over there. So to make something easier to understand is to untangle the mystery. To unearth, think about unearthing something, digging something out of the ground. Okay, so to unearth is to find something in the ground by digging, or also to discover. To discover a secret. Okay. And finally, uncomb. Uncomb, unfortunately, is not the meaning of, it's not the opposite of comb. Rather, it talks about hair that is in a state of mess or untidiness. In this case here, the school is announcing plans to build a new library. So the closest match would be option 1, to unveil their plans. Okay. So well done, cute teddy bear and Ozil for getting the right answer as well. And for Ozil also, I think this is your first answer in. So well done, first answer you're really getting it right. Very good job. Okay, let's keep that record going. Question 15, I blank remember that Hannah was not in school last week, but I'm not certain. We have 4 adverbs over here. What do they individually use? Okay. Yep, Clara. Yep, definitely. Even though our answers might not be right, it's good to ensure that we have a proper understanding of the different options. Okay, QQ has the answer in along with teddy bear. Vaguely, right? Vaguely over here means slightly. I slightly remember, but I'm not fully confident. Okay. Slightly or roughly. Now vaguely is opposed to distinctly for option 3. Okay, option 3 distinctly talks about a way that is very apparent or noticeable. Noticeably or apparent in a very obvious way. And finally, raucously. Raucously, that just means, comes from the word raucous, in a loud and energetic way. Loudly with energy. In this case here, I'm not certain, I'm not confident about Hannah's attendance in school, so the closest match would be number 1. Vaguely, about slight, I roughly remember her being there, but I do not fully confident in it. Okay. Right, so well done, Cute and Teddy Bear for getting the right answers over here. Okay, yep, and good job Clara also for getting the right answer. With well done. Okay, any questions for our vocab page and our vocab questions? Okay, with that, let's proceed to our vocab closed passage. For your vocab closed passage, you need to identify the underlined words and then give a suitable replacement. Replace the underlined words with the options given. Okay. Right, okay, yeah, thank you very much for the reply. With one flick of my tongue, I was, for all anybody knew, 23rd in line for the throne of Monaco. The words slipped through my teeth with ease. So for question 16, we're looking to replace this description with ease. At the bottom of the page over here, we see entirely, effortlessly, abundantly, and appropriately. Okay. Which of these 4 adverbs carries out the idea of doing something easily? Okay, Cute and Clara both have gotten their answers in, along with Teddy Bear. Right, effortlessly, right, to do something with ease, do something without any effort, right, effortlessly. How about abundantly? What does abundantly mean here? To do something abundantly is with excess. More than necessary. To give extra. Really? The girls on the swings beside me would ask, wide eyes blinking with a childlike naivety. They believed everything I said. Okay? So you need to replace the word naivety over here. Perhaps it is a word that some of us might not have come across before, right? It's a word that's unfamiliar to us. In this case, you have to look at the rest of the sentence for context clues. Okay? We see the girls would ask, wide eyes blinking with a childlike air to them. Okay? So childlike, wild eyes blinking, what type of image or what type of sense do you get from this description over here, being childlike with white eyes blinking? Okay. Right, certainly innocence, right? Cute. Okay. So in this case over here, that would be innocence, naivety, that means innocence over here, a lack of awareness, or rather having a very sheltered awareness of the world around you. I've not seen naive used as a noun before. Right, so again, maybe this is a word that some of us are not too familiar with, although if it's a shift in the word form from a word that we are quite common with, naive over here. Naive has a slight shift in word form from the adjective to the noun. We are not too familiar with the noun, but if we recognize part of it, we understand the similar shades of meaning. And alternatively, even if you've never come across this word before, you can use the context clues to help us solve for our answer. Question 18. I nodded as they whispered under their breath how incredible my tale was. Okay, how incredible. So which of these four options over here carries out the idea of incredible? Something that's incredible is hard to believe, right? Hard to believe is incredible tale, so it is unbelievable story. Okay, right, well done, cute. How about superfluous? What does superfluous mean? Does it relate to superpowers? Okay, unfortunately not. Superfluous has nothing to do with superpowers. However, superfluous has the meaning of unnecessary. Right, exactly right. Cute. Has correctly pointed out. Superfluous means something that is unnecessary, that is extra. Okay, so well done, cute. Okay, and well done, Teddy Bear, Clara, and Ming Hao for getting the right answer here. Okay. Question 19. It was amazing that they bought my story without a second thought. Without a second thought. So looking to replace a second thought over here for question 19, we have resolution, discussion, speculation, and consideration. I think no, it's a misspelling. There should be an I. Oops. There should be an I in consideration at the center over here. Okay, so please take note of this. Which of these four nouns over here carry the meaning of a second thought? Okay, right. Right, as Clara, cute, and Teddy Bear correctly pointed out, the answer is consideration, option 4. Without a second thought, taking time to consider. Okay, I think there's an earlier question from Mitch. Sorry, just checking. Does abundantly really have a negative connotation? No, abundantly does not have a negative connotation. It is a neutral connotation. The reason I put a minus sign here is just used as a dash to indicate the meaning of the word. Okay, so yeah, I guess it can be a bit confusing. Let me just maybe just change my handwriting. Abundantly is with excess more than necessary. Okay, so yeah, apologies for the confusion, Mitch. I'm not looking at abundantly for a negative connotation, just using it a dash to indicate the definition of the meaning. I'm sorry for that confusion. I hope I've resolved some of the questions you might have had regarding the definition for abundantly. Okay. So right, it's not a negative sign or minus sign to indicate a negative connotation. It is merely used to indicate the meaning or definition of the word apart from the printed words. Question 20. I made up the story purely for the pleasure of it. Lying was addictive. I felt invincible. Little did I know I would soon be found out. Okay. Question 20, you're looking to replace the word for the pleasure of it. Which of these four verbs, these four emotions best capture the idea of the pleasure? Okay. Right. I think some of our answers have come in. It is option 1, joy. The pleasure just for the joy, just for the thrill of lying to them. Okay. There's some other words that we see over here. Wonder, I think it's not too difficult, but distress and contempt. What does it mean to be in distress? To be in distress? Okay, Isabel. let's bring it up one level, okay? Let's upgrade it by one level. It's no longer just feeling sad, but feeling extreme anxiety or extreme sorrow. Yep, it can be used for sorrow as well. So as Isabel has correctly pointed out over here, not just feeling sad, but extreme sorrow. How about contempt? What does it mean to be in contempt or to have contempt for a person? To have contempt is to disregard a person, to be dismissive of them, to think that they are completely worthless compared to you. Okay? So to contempt is with extreme disregard or with a sense of superiority. Okay. Contempt or disgust could be used as well as an alternate definition. Okay. Okay, so does that help clarify some of the words over here for the question? Alright, so that brings us to our next section at our grammar close. For grammar close, we need to only select one option for each blank. And for this grammar close, we are looking at sounds. What do animals say? Cats meow, sheep bleat, and frogs croak. Blank, some animals are known for the sounds they make, others seem to be silent. Okay, so we see some are known for their sounds, others seem to be silent. So what should be the correct conjunction to be used over here? Would be option P, right? So well done for teddy bear getting the right answer over here. While is used to identify two contrasting or to compare between two different qualities. While some make noises, some are silent. Has anyone ever heard a peep blank a pet turtle? What preposition should we use over here? What should be the correct preposition? A peep from a pet turtle. Okay, let me just remove those that we already have. Recently, a new research found that 53 species of animals thought blank be non-verbal actually make sounds. Okay. Thought blank be non-verbal. Okay. The keyword is be, right? So what do you use to match up with be? Option N, right? 2. Collocations here. Thought to be non-verbal actually make sounds. The study suggests that blank animals use vocalizations to communicate. In this case here, looking for a pronoun that refers to the 53 species. So what should be the correct answer for question 32? Right, Cute has mentioned it. It is option J. These animals use vocalizations to communicate. Okay, right. Well done, Cute, and well done, Teddy Bear. Okay. Every single species we recorded made sounds, researcher Jorge Wish Cohen shared. During the study in the Amazon, he heard vocalizations from blank. From blank. Okay. From. Oops, sorry. What do you think for question 33? Okay. From them, referring to the third person plural of the animal species. Okay, so option H, from them. Okay, for some of our younger viewers, some of these grammar rules are not as natural. They don't come as naturally to us. Okay, but think of it as a way of filling up the blanks over here. What is the correct substitution or correct replacement for these empty words here? Okay. Along the way, a lot of this practice comes from regular reading, regular speaking. Okay, so take the time also, not just take the time to read over the September holidays to do a revision also, where you take time to unwind. Also read regularly, read up on current affairs, both fiction and non-fiction, to understand the grammar rules that apply here. Each animal was recorded with advanced equipment, blank at least 24 hours. In this case here, over the duration of 24 hours. So which preposition should we use for question 34? They were recorded for at least 24 hours. Okay, well done. Okay. Well done, cute cute. It is option E, for at least 24 hours. Jorge Rich Cohen listened to more than 1,000 hours of audio to document these sounds. Now, the animal's ability to vocalize may be linked to blank common ancestor from 407 million years ago. In this case, we're looking for an article over here. Looking for common ancestor, it would be. Which article should we use? I think this is quite cut and dry. Option A, a common ancestor from 407 million years ago. Why do you use a and not an? Option B. If you're using just ancestor, then yes, the vowel would then necessitate using an. Okay. However, since the next one that follows is common, the descriptor, common C is a consonant, so you use a. Okay. A common ancestor from 407 million years ago. The researchers on the team think it might have been an ancient fish, one that lived blank a time when the ocean covered more of Earth than they do today. So you're looking for a preposition over here indicating in the span of a time. In the span of a time, which is the correct preposition you should be using for question 36? It would be during a time. They lived during a time when the ocean covered more than Earth than they do today. To arrive at this conclusion, scientists combine their data, blank research done by others in the past. Okay? So to combine their data together alongside research done by others in the past, what should be the correct conjunction over here? For question 37. Which conjunction should you use? Oh, exactly right. With indicates that it's being used together with research done by others in the past. More information is needed to test blank conclusion. So again, we're looking at a pronoun, relative pronoun over here. What should be the relative pronoun for the last question? More information is needed to test this conclusion, right? Option L. Okay, well done. I think QQ has scored very strong marks for this section, and for the rest also have participated along the way as well. And even for Clara and our other viewers who are perhaps at a different younger level, not as an advanced level for this text over here, thank you very much for participating actively and also engaging with the questions over here. Perhaps you might have learned something useful over here through our sections. Okay. However, for our last section for today, The last section might be simpler even for our younger viewers. Some of the questions for our next section might be simpler for the younger viewers. Okay. Looking at editing. Editing looks at either spelling or grammar. Okay. The ozone layer is a region of Earth's stratosphere that absorbs most of the sun's ultraviolet radiation. According to a United Nations report, the hole in the Earth's ozone layer is slowly recovering. This is a word form mistake, right? Instead of recovery, the noun, it should be the verb. So what should be the correct replacement over here? Recovering, right? Well done. As you can see, even for our younger viewers over here, you can answer a question for this section. So this section also has comparatively lower standard or lower standard of difficulty for the students taking it as well. It's mostly testing you on your recall, assessing you on your spelling abilities. This comes after 30 years of an international agreement, the Montreal Protocol, to ban the use of the class of chemicals that destroy the ozone layer. What is wrong with destroy over here? What is wrong with question 40? This is a okay, I have a question. I have an option from Clara. Destroy. Okay, this is not a tense mistake. This is a subject-verb mistake. In this case, you see chemicals. Chemicals, plural for destroy. However, there is also the collective noun, right? The class of chemicals. And in this case here, this class is singular, just one class of chemicals. So you're looking for the singular of the verb destroy, it would be destroys. Okay, so well done for Cube for correctly pointing it out over here. We are referring to the collective noun, not the chemicals. So it needs to be singular, destroys. That destroys the ozone layer. They're often used in aerosols and refrigerators. Many types of packaging contain these pollutants too. Okay, so this is a spelling mistake. How do you spell pollutants? How do you spell pollutants? Okay, to pollute, P-O-L-L-U-T. Okay, now take note over here, instead of an E, it's A-N-T-S. Okay, pollutants. The ozone layer is a blanket of gas that exists from 10 km and 50 km above Earth's surface. So what should be the correct answer over here? Blanket of gas that exists. What should be the correct preposition used for question 42? Okay. Right, question 42 might be a tricky one for some of us in the chat over here. What do we think? Oh, what happened to all? Suddenly everyone is unsure. Okay, I see some answers from the from our viewers over here. Clara isn't too certain. Isabel is suggesting 4. That exists for 10 km and 50 km above. Not quite. 4 is used to introduce a reason for a certain outcome or effect. Okay? But along the lines about looking at cause and effect for prepositions, what preposition would fit in over here that is describing a distance? Within. Okay, Fazlina has the answer in as well. Within 10 km and 50 km above Earth's surface. Okay, along the lines of within over here, not so much within the range, but if you want to talk about a range, right? This is the lower bound of a range. This is the bottom of the ozone layer. This is the top of the ozone layer. So what preposition should we use to indicate the position that lies inside the top and the bottom, apart from within? Correct. Okay, as Fazlina has correctly pointed out, between. Okay, between 10 km and 50 km above Earth's surface. Okay, so well done. A bit of problem solving as we get along the way to answer this question. Okay. It shields the planet against harmful radiation. This is a spelling mistake. Shield is spelled S-H-I-E-L-D-S. Okay. Against harmful radiation from the sun. Skin cancer and environment damage. Again, this is a word form mistake. Environment is the noun. We need the adjective. So what is the adjective of environment? Okay, well done QQ and Clara for question 43, shields. What is the adjective for environment? We have environmental. Right? In your respective schools, you have your green ambassador, you have your environmental ambassadors. Okay? To plants and marine ecosystems, they are often attributed to the effects of this harmful radiation. How do you properly spell effect over here? E-F-F-E-C-T-S. Okay. Yep. Environmentally is used for the adverb. Okay. We need to be environmentally conscious. Okay, so it's the adverb, but in this case here, we're looking for the adjective, which is environmental. In the atmosphere, concentration levels. Again, concentration is a misspelling. It should be a C, not an S in the middle. Concentration levels of two such chemicals, chlorine and bromine, has reduced. In this case here, has is looking at subject verb agreement. Looking at levels in the plural. So what's the plural form of has over here? Hi TD Doctor, thank you very much for joining in. Yep, thank you very much for your concern over my voice being clear and pristine. Thank you very much TD Doctor for your concern. Okay. We're looking for the plural form of has in question 47. That leads us to have reduced over time. Okay. A question from Clara, is it had reduced? Had is used for the past tense. However, we're talking about the reduction of concentration levels in the present, how they are reducing in the present, they are lowering and decreasing right now. So we should stick to the present tense, but rather we look at the plural instead of just a tense translation. Okay. This shows the effectiveness of the agreement. The healing of the ozone layer showed what could be achieved. Could over here lets us know that this should remain in the past tense. What could be achieved when the world worked together for the good of the planet? So again, worked, showed, could all point to the verb tense of this sentence being in the past tense. With continuous efforts, again spelling mistakes for continuous, C-O-N-T-I-N-U-O-U-S. With continuous efforts to keep current policies in place, the ozone layer can fully recover by 2066, and there can be fewer occurrences of natural catastrophes. Finally, spelling mistake for question 50. Right, DD Doctor, I think this is a word that has shown up for quite a few editing passages, so maybe you're quite proficient in this. Occurrence has a double R in the middle. Okay, so well done Teddy Bear, and well done QQ also for getting the right answer for this section for occurrences, especially on question 50 that can be difficult. So for our younger viewers out there, or for our viewers who are not too familiar with question 50, please take note of the spelling for occurrence, right? It has shown up quite often in many editing passages. Any questions for editing? Right, if there are no questions for editing, that is it for this afternoon. Thank you very much for joining in. Later on this afternoon, I'll give everyone a break for lunch and then also to enjoy a teacher's day off from school. Later on in the afternoon, about 4 plus, teacher Chin Yi will be joining in where we'll be taking a look at phrasal verbs with teacher Chin Yi. Okay, so stay tuned as she will go through some phrasal verbs that we can take a note of as we go through our English papers. Okay. Is there Kahoot? No Kahoot for our live stream for today, but thank you very much for joining in. We'll see you all next time. Happy Teacher's Day and have a good rest.